Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's Friday. Not Friday the 13th, just plain old everyday Friday. And how are you all doing today? Hmm? Hope your day's going better than mine. My stomach's a mess. I think I've got an ulcer. I have to get it checked out. I don't know how they do that, though. If it's easy or it's very difficult. Anyhow, let's talk about something. Let's see what we can talk about this morning. All right, here we'll do that, and then I have something I'm gonna talk about anyhow, because I just don't care whether you like what I talk about or not. You know that. This is I'm like Trump. This is all about me, people. Yeah, right. Okay. Anyhow. A volcano in Indonesia erupted, killed a bunch of hikers. What the hell were they doing around the rim of a volcano? There should have been some warning. There's always a warning about volcanoes. I don't know. Kamala Harris is back in the news. She's calling the Iran war bullshit. Let me tell you something, Kamala. You had what, a year and a half already, where you kept your mouth pretty much shut. Did a book tour, made some money, didn't rankle anybody's feathers too much, you know. So here's the deal. Shut up. I'm not particularly fond of you because of that. You kept quiet when other people were talking, and now you're streaming coming in at the end because you want to be president. You're not going to make president. I don't think you're electable. You'd have to be the only person running to be elected president, and I don't think you'll be a good president now after what I've seen of you during the campaign and everything and afterwards, where you just sulked. You can't sulk if you're a candidate. You got to get out there and say stuff. You know, whether it's good or bad, you got to say stuff, and you didn't. You were out of the news for about 6 months at least, maybe longer. And you know, the Pope said more than you did. So I'm saying that I don't think you're electable. So please don't run for president again, all right? You couldn't run for governor. That they didn't want you to run for governor in California, and you think they want you to run for president? I don't think so. My eye is all messed up. I can't see. Hold on a second. I got crap growing across my eyelids. Happens every so often. Here you go. All right. Oh, they've got some files detailing UFOs. I talked about that yesterday. My belief in that. I do believe they're out there. I just don't. I think it's statistically impossible for there not to be life someplace on another planet. But when people can think of life, they think of things like us. It could be an intelligent plant life. It could be a lot of different things. But if they can fly and they can bring their ships to this planet, you do not want to piss them off. Okay? And for the most part, it looks like they don't want anything to do with us. Which would be the experiment theory that I had yesterday. You know, so we'll see what happens there. Oh man, what else is going down here? Trump got in an argument with a reporter. Where'd that article go to? He had to be, well, I guess that was a YouTube deal, right? Yeah. Tehran's supposed to respond to the peace proposal today. You know, if it has to deal with absolute surrender, they're not going to do it. So why waste the paper sending it to them, you know? I wouldn't do it. Because I don't think Trump has the weaponry left to annihilate the country completely. I think he would have to deplete our arsenals to the point where we wouldn't be able to protect ourselves. You know, everybody thinks we have all these weapons around, and then all of a sudden you're involved in a war for 3 or 4 months, and they're running out of missiles and stuff. So what's the story, folks? Who's lying to who here? Where's all that money going? You know? No wonder Trump made $1 billion since he's been involved in the White House. This term. You know? It's kind of a scary thing, isn't it? Oh, man. You know, I did an article here about kids, babies bleeding to death because they're rejecting parents are rejecting a vitamin shot given at birth. If that is the reason that they're bleeding to death, then those parents should never be allowed to have children again. They should be castrated or fixed and everything like that, you know, tubes tied, whatever it takes. So neither one of them can ever produce children again. And then they should be have to dig the graves for the kids. Something nasty, because that's just stupidity. It's not costing you $1 million. They pretty much do it, I think, you know, it's pretty much almost basically free, I think. I don't know. But, you know, that's just another dumb thing. Oh, this is probably it here. Nah, it's a video. I don't want to watch a video while I'm doing my own video. See if we can find that here. The Democrats got their big increase in Virginia blocked by the courts. Then what'd you expect? The Republicans control most of the courts in this country now. If they're federal courts, they're where their judges are appointed. That doesn't show anything here. All right. Anyhow, apparently Trump got in a yelling match with somebody. Oh yeah. The caption on YouTube is "You are a bitch." Well, it's not the first time he's gotten a fight with a woman. You know. I can't wait till Melania, or whatever you call her, decides to divorce that fat prick. That was going to be a lot of fun. Because he's going to have to give her whatever she wants, or kill her. You know, that's the way it goes. What is this? This is Fox. May 7, 26, MSNBC. Oh, we'll have to look at that later. That just popped up. It's a long article. So anyhow, you know, weekends coming. It's Mother's Day. And Trump's mother didn't like him, I don't think. I don't know. You don't hear too much about her. The women in the Trump's life now are fairly quiet. Even Ivanka is not as distant herself from her father, and I think her husband somewhat too. I don't understand that situation too well. You know, it's gonna be a real stinker of a divorce. All right, here's something to make you think. You know, I like to do these little things. You all understand that physics is like the science of everything, right? One of the principles of physics is that for every action, there is an equal or opposite reaction. You understand that now? Do you understand what that means? If you do, in theory, if you do something, somebody's going to do something back to you, or they're going to do something the opposite of what you did. All right? That's physics. That's the laws of physics. That's the way the world runs. So, saying that, okay, there was now this was something that I think they did on Criminal Minds one time with Montenegro and somebody, I forget the black guy's name. But anyhow, they had this argument, sort of religious connotations. If you believe in evil, which I do, then you must believe in good. And I do. But you don't have to believe in the devil. Therefore, you don't have to believe in God. Evil is an entity. You want to call it the devil? That's fine. Good is good. You know, there's good and bad and everything. Supposedly, the yin and yang effect is that it balances itself out. Now, we're not seeing that in our country right now. You know, we're seeing a lot of bad stuff. No, I don't consider all of it evil, but we're seeing a lot of evil with the immigration thing and everything else going on. So we're seeing a lot of bad stuff. And your good stuff is coming out of like human interest stories, you know. I spent 2.5 hours yesterday watching animal videos so I could laugh a lot, you know. And I did. I laughed a lot. And I watched some Robin Williams tapes and stuff like that just because I wanted to laugh. I'm getting tired of being angry and upset all the time, you know. It just that's not the way I want to live my life, especially at this age, you know. But I do get angry and I get mad and everything else all pretty much all the time now. But think about this. If you're running around and you believe in God, okay, and you're one of these people that's sitting out there and you're believing in Christianity and God and you're preaching that God exists and all that, well then the devil must exist too. Evil has to exist. But what happens is we get into a definition of evil. That's where we get screwed up. That's where things become unequal. Because some of these Christian fanatics, their definition of good is actually evil. It's against all the principles of Christianity, of goodness. You know, we're going to have these opposite wars going. We're going to have good versus evil and black versus white and everything else that's going on in this world is all crazy stuff. You know, it really is. It just doesn't make sense sometimes, you know, when you see it, when you hear it, you know. Why? You know, I don't know where I heard this, but I know it was done. I think it was maybe it was a comedy or something. Or something. Why can't we all just get along? Well, there's a billion reasons why we can't get along, because we're all different. Our environment, and then you have the psychiatrist. Is it environment, or is it inherited? You know, where is this personality coming from? Well, as I understand it, and as I've read it over the years, it's a combination of a lot of things. Your environment has something to do with it, but it's how you react to your environment that will determine what your direction your life is taking. Environment has more to do with what you do for a living, the kind of social pressures you run into, you know. Hereditary is what your parents gave you at birth. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be that way, because you have to format all that stuff. It's like you wake up in the morning. You're born, and next to you is a pile of discs with programs and what have you in it, and you have to get each one entered into you to format what you're going to become. Now, if they're all evil, that doesn't mean you're going to be evil. You know, you have to make judgments in these things. You're given choices all the time. Which direction to take, what to listen to and what not to listen to, what to learn and what not to learn. That's done all the time. And one of the weirdest sciences in the world is psychology. Because you can predict the physical aspects of a human brain to a certain degree. All right, because we don't know enough about the human brain. And I don't know why that's true, but it's something to do with we find it extremely difficult to study ourselves, you know, and I don't know why that is. All right, listen up. This is Saturday. No, this is Friday. Ooh. I don't know whether I'll have one tomorrow or not. On time, anyhow. I have them going out tomorrow. We're going someplace for... No, not tomorrow. We're not. All right, I'll be there. It'll be okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Meantime, hit that subscription button for me, please. I got 25. I need 50, really, to be happy. Because at 50, then I can start making some progress. It'll be much faster, I think. Hopefully. In the meantime, people, thank all of you very, very, very much for subscribing to me and for listening to me and watching my videos. And I will see you mañana.